Hey, Kittch. Hi. It is the big chill here on Kittch, and we are continuing the big chill with some of our summer favorite desserts. Okay. If you're new here to Kittch or my channel, my name is Kristen Solorzano. I am the recipe developer and content creator behind What's the Freakin Recipe, where I share semi-homemade comfort food for busy people like you, because we all got stuff going on, okay? So kind of playing into that, it's summertime, and I am a sucker for just like low effort meals, desserts especially, okay? So we're gonna make grilled pound cake with macerated peaches. Super easy, super simple, and you can throw it together in no time, and it looks amazing. So if you will impress, I promise, you will impress your guests or even just your family or yourself on how tasty this is, okay? But just like a quick few housekeeping items. So if you have any questions throughout the stream, you can join me at the chef's table. You can turn your camera off if you're not into that and you just want your voice. But if you just kind of don't want that, you can ask a question in the comments over there, and they'll just pop up on the left hand side of the screen. Please interrupt me. We're here to have a good time. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. I'm gonna get my grill pan started here just to make sure it's preheated before we start going. I'm working inside, obviously, just because I have a little bit more control on the environment, and you can hear me and the Wi-Fi doesn't go out, okay? So ideally, you would be working on an outside grill. You could just keep it inside if it's not too hot in your house. Use a grill pan or even a cast iron skillet. This recipe is very forgiving, okay? All right, so first let's cut or slice our peaches. I do really recommend using ripe peaches for this recipe because it's just gonna help the sweetness level. And plus, there's just like nothing better than sitting over the kitchen sink, eating a ripe, juicy peach, and just contemplating life. The peach juice is just running down your arm, and it's just so delicious. It's the simple things. So I'm going for like a thin slice on these just because they're gonna sit on top of the pound cake. Let me get my little bowl here. Boop. So thin slices. And if you're at the grocery store and the peaches don't look that ripe, you can absolutely apply the same recipe to a different stone fruit. Like if the nectarines looked better, or say cherries are in season and you want to use cherries, use cherries. If you want just have like berries that are about to kind of like are a little questionable, like before they before they get, sorry, there's a piece of hair. Throw the berries in there, okay? Like I said, very forgiving. This peach is a little bruised on the outside. I will save that for later, a little chef snack. I'm not scared of that, but aesthetics. So just a small slice on these. You could chop it as well. You do you, okay? You're the chef, okay? All right, so I have our peaches here. I am using yellow peaches. I feel like yellow peaches have a little bit more in-depth flavor, more depth of flavor than a white peach, but if you have white peaches, use that. All right, brown sugar. Like I said, this recipe is forgiving. So if you don't have brown sugar, don't run out and get brown sugar. Just use regular sugar. It's going to be all right. Still going to be delicious. I just like the little toasty vanilla notes that it adds to the recipe. And speaking of vanilla, just like a little splash, okay? Just a little bit. If you wanted, I mean, maybe a little splash of bourbon accidentally fell in there. by accident. That would also be delicious. Just a little accident, happy accident, right? Some cinnamon, and I have fresh grated nutmeg. Just a little bit of that. There we go. And for some acidity, but also it's going to help jumpstart our maceration process. A little bit of lemon juice. We'll squeeze in there. Woo! Do you see that? It squirted right up into the camera. Luckily not in my face. All right, there we go. Just stir this around, get it nice and coated. And the key here is to let the peaches just hang out. Let the peaches hang out, take a little nap in the fridge for a couple of hours to really get that fruit macerated and nice and juicy and soft. All right, that looks delish. All right, I'm going to set that off to the side. And then we have live stream magic. I did a little bit ahead of time. So once they kind of sit in the fridge a little bit, they're going to get nice and juicy just like that. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so good over our peaches. And what I do like to do is I like to do a little taste test just to see if I need to adjust the acid at all. It's pretty good. I think we're pretty spot on, but taste as you go, okay? Always. All right, I'm gonna put my nutmeg back in here. I'm just gonna clean up my station slightly so we can start working on our pound cake, okay? Ta-da. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, just a little wipe down. And I think I love this recipe so much because it uses store-bought pound cake. I get mine from the freezer section. I'm using good old Sara Lee. I get it from the freezer section. I know the stores are different, right? I have seen pound cake in the bakery section, just kind of like out by the breads and muffins and stuff. You can use that one. My only suggestion is just pop it in the freezer for like 10-15 minutes before you slice into it, so then your knife you get a clean cut, and it's not really gonna fall apart on the grill for you. Sometimes when the breads sit out by the bakery like that, they almost get gummy a little bit, like just really moist, overly moist. So just keep that in mind as you're doing this, okay? And for this, I like a thick slice, okay? So we're gonna do a nice thick slice of pound cake. And don't worry about it being frozen right now, okay? Because this warms up in no time, especially on a hot grill. Boop. All right, so I have my pound cake here. And just for a little extra decadence, but also necessary so it doesn't stick to our grill, some melted butter over the top. Yes. Oh, baby. Both sides. We want to butter both sides. And even as you're working with this, you'll notice that the pound cake is already starting to defrost. It's very forgiving. And even like if you don't want to turn on your grill, this would be an amazing just parfait situation, right? Just layer with the peaches and the pound cake, slice up the pound cake, put in some whipped cream. Delicious. Okay, let me take y'all over to my grill pan. Not too shabby. All right, so I'm gonna take this over here. And we're just gonna go right on to the hot grill. Ooh, you hear that sizzle? Let me see if I can get a better shot. There we go. All right. So we're just gonna let that cook like 2 minutes per side, let it warm up, warm all the way through, get nice and toasty and buttery. All right, I'm gonna clean up my station in the meantime and get out our topping. I am gonna set the timer though, because you already know. You already know your girl gets distracted sometimes. I can't help it. Okay. Clean up just a little bit. I'm just gonna take a little peek because it's smoking a little bit. All right. I'm gonna turn this down slightly. It's a little hot. Really, you just want this to be like a medium low. Ooh, look at that though. Ah! That looks so good. I'm gonna turn it down slightly. That's all right. Still gonna be delish. All right, so while that's hanging out, in the recipe, I used whipped cream. You can use ice cream. I'm going to use ice cream today just because, full transparency, I use whipped cream because turns out photographing ice cream in 90-degree weather is problematic. But you probably already knew that. All right. My studio is kind of like outside on our sun porch because I use natural light. So I'm using light coming in this way, and there's no air conditioning out there, obviously. So it gets hot. So whipped cream is a lot easier to photograph than ice cream. Most times. All right, let's take a look at our pound cake on the other side. Ooh, that looks delish. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the heat. It's already like nice and toasty and delicious. Let me swing y'all back over here. Wow. Here we go. Get a little closer. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do the macerated peaches first. Look at that. Nice and juicy. There we go. I'm going to go right down on the pound cake with that. So then those juices just kind of like soak in there in the pound cake itself, get saturated. And going for ice cream. You can be fancy with it if you want. You could do a canal. Not gonna do that. Whew. Right over the top there. Yum. Looks so good. And then I'm just gonna do maybe just like a little peach slice over the top of our ice cream and take our juice around the plate so it kind of has a chance to soak up in there. I'm excited. Okay, let me get a spoon. I'm gonna rinse that off real quick. I don't know about you, but I always feel like awkward when I eat ice cream cake because it's like, should I use a spoon or should I use a fork? I don't know. I'm team spoon when it comes to ice cream cake or this type of situation. But look at that. There it is in all its glory. Ooh, wouldn't you just want to dive into that in the summer? And we made this in no time at all. It's so impressive. All right. Obviously, I gotta dig in. But you get the peaches and the grilled pound cake. Let me see if I can get a good close up. Cheers to you, Kittch. Happy summer. It's just so good. You get those nice toasty notes from the pound cake itself. And then the macerated peaches just kind of soak into that pound cake. And the ice cream just kind of ties it all together. And as the ice cream sits, it almost develops like a creme anglaise with the pound cake itself. So good. That's it, Kittch. We made super easy summer dessert live here in my kitchen in 15 minutes. And I know if I can do it, you can absolutely do it at home. I have nothing else to show you. I want to thank you for coming to my kitchen. My name is Kristen Solorzano. You can find me here on Kittch. Be sure you follow my channel here so that you can be in the know on all the upcoming big chill stuff, because we've got a lot of good stuff coming up all the way into August, celebrating summer. But you can also follow me on social media. I am on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at WTFIN Recipe. And I'm so glad you were able to join me in my kitchen. Enjoy the rest of your week, Kittch. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you.